Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Before we get into this video, I just want to say thank you for all the support that you guys have been giving me over the past couple of weeks with my vision changes and all the struggles that I've been having right now. I have my hard contacts in right now. I'm still trying to get used to them. I'm gonna look a little bit crazy for this video and I apologize for that. The lighting can't be super great because I'm very sensitive to lights with these contacts in, and I'm not really for sure why. I don't know if it's the drops that I'm on or why I am sensitive to light always, but they're even worse with these contacts in, so I can't have my lights up super bright. So bear with me. I hope I'm not super cringy and horrible to watch with my squinty eyes and rapid blinking. Update on how my contacts are doing. It's been 2 weeks. Today it marks 2 weeks. And I am struggling, but there are times when I'm like depressed about it and other times where I'm like, I'm gonna wear these contacts, I'm gonna get used to these contacts. I've been wearing them for like hours, like 8 to 10 hours a day, sometimes like 15 hours. I wear them a very long. I'm hoping that I get used to them. I'm just trying to force my eyes to relax and get used to all the craziness. So today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my story, my vision problems from when I first got my contacts, kind of all the different things I've faced, the challenges it brings on my life, and just going to be telling you guys some fun stories and different things like that. I have tons of video suggestions to do and I'm going to try to do them all, so if you have a video suggestion, put it down below and I might consider it. So I was born August 17th, 1999. Let's just go way back to the beginning. I had big blue eyes that everyone thought was so gorgeous. My parents were like, oh, she's got beautiful eyes. It was amazing. But that was a sign that my parents didn't realize. That was a sign of the struggles that were to come. Vision problems have been a problem in my family in the past. A lot of my family wear glasses. Both of my sisters wear glasses. My mom has a -7. My uncle, he has pretty thick glasses. I don't know what his prescription is. And my mom was like obviously worried about that and aware of that. When I was around the age of like 1.5, 2 years old, my parents started noticing that I would pull myself really close to like books or the computer screen or whatever like this to see, you know, that's what I had to do in order to see something. So they started noticing that I was doing that. And they took me to the eye doctor at the age of 2. I got my first pair of glasses. They told my mom that I had -22 was my first prescription that I had. That was as bad as my eyes were at the age of 2. And I had to wear these really thick glasses at the age. It kind of makes me sad looking at like my baby pictures before. I'll be looking at the camera and I'll be smiling or whatever, but I look at that picture and I think, what was I thinking? But before I got glasses, I'm like, what was I thinking looking at the camera? I mean, like, I couldn't see clearly and I didn't know any different. I don't know, it's very interesting to think about that. So when my parents came in to get my glasses, I remember the story they tell me it, like, they've told me it over and over again throughout my entire life, and I actually kind of love it. So it's so hilarious. So they set me on the counter, they put the glasses on me, they fit the glasses to my face or whatnot, and they set me down on the ground. So I'm 2, I can walk by now, and I take off running. And I run at a mirror and I hit the mirror and I fall on my back. And my mom actually like busted out crying. She was like, my daughter's never gonna be normal. And I look back on that and it literally makes me want to laugh. Like, it is so hysterical. Like, just I could see me running, boom, hit the mirror. I think it's funny. But I wasn't the mom sitting there watching her kid take off and run into a mirror like an idiot. So that was when I got my first pair of glasses. Sadly, I don't have my first pair of glasses. I don't know where they are, but my first pair of glasses was blue. Liked blue early on, I guess. I do have a couple pairs of the first glasses that I got. This is the earliest pair of glasses that I have. Look how tiny they are. I'm gonna see if I can get a close-up shot of them. But they're so tiny and so very, very thick. As a kid, I would run and play and do all that stuff, and my glasses would take some damage. I don't know, that's just really sad. There were many times the pair of glasses that I was currently wearing broke, or the lens would pop out. I would have these really, really thick lenses and these wire frames, and the lens would pop out, and oh, it was so annoying. See how it's curved so deep? It's because they didn't, I never had the strap-on glasses that you see now. My childhood, like preteen, like before I was a teenager, and then like early on, I think up until I was 9. I got contacts when I was 9 years old. So early on in my life, I was wearing glasses, and I hated my glasses. I really, really hated them, and I had a crush on this boy. I don't actually remember who it was. I just remember I liked the boy. Who knows? I liked so many. So I liked this guy, and I wanted him to see that I wasn't disgusting. Like, I didn't look terrible if I took my glasses off. So because I thought it looked horrifying with my glasses on. I thought they were the most disgusting thing. I like took my glasses off for a while and just tried to like sit there and be normal. This is so weird. I'm such a weird kid, guys. This is like, I was young. I might have been like 6 or 7. Like, I was little, guys. And I took the glasses off to show that I was prettier than what I really was. Oh my word. And eventually just put them back on and gave up, I think, but still. My doctor realized that I was getting older, and that when I entered into like, you know, teenager, I would be very self-conscious and insecure about my glasses, and worked really hard to get me in a good pair of contacts. So I switched from glasses to contacts at the age of 9. I've been wearing them for almost 10 years. When you look at my glasses, they're so thick on the edges. You can't see out of that. I can't use the entire lens to see out of when I wear glasses. Even to this day, I can only see through the very, very center. Don't really know all the reasons behind all of that. They've explained it to me before, but I hear so much, and I've heard it all my life, that I don't remember it all, get it all, or probably pay attention to all of it, especially when I was younger. So the very, very center is the only part that I can actually see out of, which hinders my vision. No peripheral vision when you're wearing these, like, at all. You have to turn your head all the time. So it's you really cannot see that well in them. These are the ones I had to wear, like, teenage years. These might have been preteen, probably. These ones held up pretty well. Like, they didn't break or pop out or do anything crazy. Still very ugly, and I would hate to have my contact rip or, oh dear, I'd hate to have my contact rip or break because I'd have to go out in these. This is a later pair. You can see they're starting to get really, really thick. You can actually see these. Oh, this makes me kind of sad. These are so heavy that for the lens that they're bent. They're bent like that. I remember that. I went and had them fixed, but they're still bent. They're not supposed to be that way. I remember that. They just arched like this because the lenses were so sad. Moving on past all my old glasses, I am currently going to the same doctor that I started out with, the one that put me in my first pair of glasses where I hit the mirror and everything. I am still going to her, but there was a time where we moved, not like out of state, but farther away, so I went to a different eye doctor, and he put me in my first pair of contacts actually around the age of 9, and I went to him for quite a while. The funny thing is, he was not like a specialist, he's just kind of an average eye doctor, but he was really, really good. And I mean, he was really good, like I just said, but he didn't have me as good as I needed to be. I mean, my glasses are complicated. My glasses are difficult. And he did the best he could. He didn't even have the equipment that he needed. He would tape like extra lenses to his machine, like with literally just take some tape, boom, stick it on there. He literally had to do that because he didn't have the right equipment. I went back to my first doctor. She looked at me and she said, Janae, you wouldn't be able to pass your school entrance exam or your driver's license test. You wouldn't be able to pass any of it with your current vision. And that was very sad to me. Oh, and I should mention I've been homeschooled my whole life and I never had a school entrance exam, so my glasses will never be good enough to let me drive and let me do that thing. And a lot of you guys were asking if I can drive. Yes, I can drive. It's challenging, but like legally I'm allowed. I am very cautious, and I feel like I am, if it's raining and dark, I won't drive. Driving, I mean, there were times during, like, between the permit and the license, and even since then, that I just have broke down and started crying. Like, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can drive. And so over the years, there are a lot of different things that have been talked about by our doctors, warnings: if this happens, if this happens, if this is a scenario, make sure you check for this. Different risks that I could lose my vision. Most of these have been talked about my entire life. Kid, you don't pay attention and you don't understand everything that's being said in the doctor's office. And I was a carefree kid. I didn't really, kind of had my head in the clouds most of the time, which probably served me well. If I would have heard some of the things and understood them, I probably would have freaked out. But I was pretty much in the clouds as a kid, so it didn't really faze me. As a teenager and now an adult, the threats that I face are more real and a little more terrifying, and I actually see how my vision has affected me over the years. Just my struggle to read, I'm not a terrible reader at all, and I get great grades in school, but I do struggle reading, especially if somebody throws me something and says, hey, at church, if the pastor comes up and is like, hey, I need you to read this. I'm like, this ain't gonna work unless I have time to kind of memorize before I do the actual speaking, so that my memory is great. I can memorize a lot really quick. My short-term memory is great, and my long-term memory is great, so that's really nice. Comes in handy when you can't see. So I will, like, my graduation speech, I memorized it, and then when I gave it, I couldn't really focus to read. Like, it's really hard. It takes a lot of work for me to focus on something, if that makes sense. So reading has been a struggle, and especially when you're nervous, like if you're reading in front of people. Oh yes, I struggle driving and I struggle reading. Moving on from my vision and driving struggles, those are two of the main, reading and driving are two of the main problems that I face. Just two of them, don't worry, there's more. Oh, one of the main risks that I have is retina detachment. I don't know if I've talked about this. I don't think I have, but my retina, because of the way my eye is shaped from, I think, the stigmatism. I don't really understand. Like, I have myopia and stigmatism. Like, these are two things that my eye has that makes things really, really difficult. But because of the way my eye is shaped, and I think how thin my retina is, that I have what's called a retina detachment. Or I could have. I have not actually had yet a full retina detachment. The risk is so high, like so high. I had a hole in my retina last year, but I had to go in and get a laser treatment done on that hole. It lasted for just a few minutes. It was very, very uncomfortable. I wouldn't say painful, but I'll just describe it. I sat down for the first one that I had at this machine, sort of like the normal lights they look at. It's kind of like the normal, feels kind of normal, pull up, put your chin on the rest, the band goes on your forehead, you push your head against the band, and you sit there, and for a couple minutes he zapped my eye with a very, very powerful light. Like, it was just so bright, a laser. So he held a magnifying glass up to my eye, then shone a light on me, and then flashed the bright light in my eye. So that was uncomfortable. And he would say, move your eye this way, move your eye that way, and I was like, oh my goodness, he is using a laser on my eye. I don't want to move my eye wrong. But it's like numb. You can't really control it. It's kind of like with all those lights, it's like you can't control your eye. So I would try to keep this eye open and stare at something and use that to try to control this eye. But I'm sure this eye was just like, it was so bad. So I was getting a headache like instantly. The thing only lasted for a couple minutes, but I was getting a headache immediately, and my eyes were watering because that light was just so bright. Bright lights are painful, okay? It's horrible. So I pulled away from it after it was all done, and there's actually, they do numb your eyes, so there was like no pain. besides like headache and just so much strain, like my head, oh, just behind the eye was hurting because it was working so hard to stay open, even though they had it propped open. Yes, they had it propped open and it was just straining because, it's horrible. So I stepped back from it and they turned the lights on and I don't say anything because I can't see at all out of my eye. My eye is black. And this eye was like normal, like it was this eye was strained, but it actually didn't have anything done to it. No lights were shining in it or anything. It was just normal, but it was dark too. Just like the effect of having so much light on this one kind of hindered this one. Like it was a little like just a little hazy. And this one was completely like dark green because the laser color was green. I think that's why, but it was just dark and I couldn't see anything. And so I kind of started panicking. I didn't say anything, but I kind of started panicking. Like I could just, it's kind of funny because I didn't know what was going to happen and I didn't know what he did. And I was kind of like, I was panicking. I thought he literally made me like lose my vision. So I was like, and mommy comes in. Finally, they go get mom. Like, I didn't say anything, which is probably rude, but I was panicking, guys. Sorry. And they're like, we'll go get your mom. And so, and I wasn't like a basket case at all. I was just sitting there kind of breathing heavy. And I think maybe like I had some tears running down my eyes. I'm not for sure. They were watering because of how terrible it was anyway. But I was starting to cry a little. And I was like trying to keep myself together. And I couldn't see to move. And they were like, do you want to come and sit over here? And I'm like, I can't move, you can't do anything, Janae, just sit here. And I didn't say anything. They were probably like, what is wrong with her? That's kind of weird. My mom comes in and she starts to cry. She's like, Janae, are you okay? And I was like, Mom, I can't see anything at the moment, but I'm fine. Because at that point it started to back off a little bit. It was starting to come, my vision was slowly coming in. It took me a few minutes. And when I was walking out of there, I could see, because we pretty much got up and left on the way out and stopping by the counter and everything. It was just yellow. My vision was completely yellow, which is just, it's just really creepy. If it's happening to you, it's really, really creepy. So I walk out and the rest of the day I couldn't hardly see anything. Like it was just so blurry. Even with glasses on, I think I had dilation in both eyes plus the laser treatment, and it was just, it's too much for my eyes to handle. I couldn't hardly see anything. And then about the end of summer last year, I had another treatment done. This one was not near as bad. I just had a soft spot in my retina. I didn't have a whole or partial tear, or obviously I didn't have a full tear. So it was the other eye and I had a soft spot. One was kind of, it wasn't a whole, so it wasn't as intense or severe. They used the small machine on me, not the one where you sit at, which seemed to be less intimidating. I leaned back and he was on like over me. That was more intimidating for me because I felt kind of trapped. Like I just felt really, really trapped while he was doing it. It didn't last as long. I did go, my vision went, but I expected it. They told me my vision would go hazy, but they never said I would lose it completely. So I was way more comfortable the second time around. I wasn't panicky because I knew it was going to happen. So the next major risk that I have is my retina starving from oxygen. I wear really, really thick contacts and they're just, and before I go on any farther, there's going to be a lot of people that says, just wear your glasses. They're beautiful on you. Don't worry about how you look. That is only a small part of the reason why I wear glasses. It really is. Contacts, I can see so much better. I can read. I wouldn't be able to drive or do a lot of things if I had my glasses on. I tried driving once in my glasses and I literally, it was so bright and I couldn't wear sunglasses because you can't get sunglasses over those things. And if I did have glasses, I wouldn't be able to function. Can't read, you can't see. You're kind of like trapped in a little box, so they're not ideal at all. And glasses grow blisters on the top of my ears. It's kind of weird, but it happens. I don't know if it's because I just don't wear them or because they're so heavy, but I literally had blisters on top of my ears. That's just so weird. So my retina can starve. How weird is that? Your retina is clear, but it needs oxygen like the rest of your body, and blood vessels are what supply your body with oxygen. And my soft contacts cling right to your eye, like suction right to your eye. And your eye can't breathe. And after a while of that, your blood vessels start to grow over your retina. And she told me, she said, Janae, in 2 years, if you continue like you are, like a year, like 2 years. She told me this like 2 years ago. She said, in 2 years, you will be blind if you continue like you are. I had to switch contacts and they were so uncomfortable. So this pair of contacts took care of the retina starving issue. So soft contacts are like a sponge sort of, and they have lots of deposits on them. And I've been having allergic reactions to my eye. That's the problem that I've had most recently. And you guys probably have watched this. If you haven't, go watch my last 3 videos and you will know more about all that. But so yeah, basically I had allergic reaction to my eye, or maybe seasonal allergies that actually aren't 100% for sure. But my doctor was leaning more towards a reaction to the deposits on my contacts. Hard contacts do not do that. They can't, they're hard, they don't soak up stuff. They're much easier to clean. The next risk I have, I don't actually know much about. It's called keratoconus. It's where your retina is shaped like a cone, and eventually you have to have a very, very risky, again, I hear risky, you're gonna go blind, I hear that all the time, a very risky surgery at the end. I don't know very much about this. This video is probably super, super long, and I'm gonna stop here. I have so much more I could say, but I'm gonna stop right here. So thank you guys so much for watching these videos, commenting, subscribing. Thank you guys so much. You guys are also commenting on my Instagram, on my Facebook. You guys, I'm an artist. I also have like an art Instagram and Facebook and a website, so be sure to check those out. I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.